everybody. Welcome to the Optimus Fantasy Show. It is Thursday, October 16th, 2025. Casey, it's almost Halloween. Can you believe
Hey,
it?
no,
Like
I
we're seven,
can't.
we're almost 7 weeks into the NFL season. It feels like just yesterday that we were, please God, give me football back. I'm so bored. I don't have
Mm-hmm.
anything to do. What do I do? And now here we are, almost halfway through the season. We'll get to talking about that in the next couple of weeks. But we are through 6 weeks, going into week 7. An oddly slow week for news, Casey, which was kind of nice. It was a nice break.
It's a nice break. It's a nice break. And unless you're talking about Josh Downs and then 2 seconds later find out he's in concussion protocol. But other than that,
Other
yeah,
than that,
you know.
well, I mean, some of the things we've got going on this week, we've got the Old Man Bowl tonight. We've got Cleveland and
Yay.
Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. That's going to be a game I'll watch it because it's Thursday night football.
Right.
What else am I going to do, right? We watch football on Thursdays, but
We do.
I'm not going to like it.
Right.
Or
I'm going
maybe
to watch it over Grey's Anatomy tonight. I'm, making a choice, and that's the choice.
I've never watched a full episode of Grey's Anatomy. I will have you know. And I'm actually quite fairly proud of that. But there was a spin-off show that I did watch that I really liked. But I'm not here to talk about
Station 19 or Private Practice. Okay, anyway, let's get
Private Practice. Private Practice. Jen watches Station 19. It's all right. It is what it is.
It's over now, so
yeah. I mean, those kind of shows for me are,
yeah,
they're fine and they're entertaining, and I'll sit and watch it.
I mean, my wife brought him into the relationship, so that's how long.
Jen doesn't watch Grey's Anatomy either, so this is just whatever. Anyway, we're here to talk about football.
We're not talking Grey's Anatomy. Wow,
right?
Way
wow,
off.
Yeah, way
not
off.
Not our target demographic at all,
and not something I know enough about to be talking about for this long. So we're going to get on with the show, Casey. The first thing we're going to talk about, the confusing running back situation in Carolina. It hasn't been confusing the last couple of weeks. I mean, Rico Dowdle's been absolutely crazy good the last 2 games. 53 carries for 389 yards, 1 rushing touchdown, and 7.34 yards per carry for Dowdle in relief of Hubbard. In relief of Hubbard. And now Chuba he's trending towards starting this week. He was limited in practice, but it looks like he's going to play. What are we doing about this? I think this has to get confusing for everyone, because you don't just bench a guy who has nearly 400 yards over 2 games. His 53 carries match what Hubbard had through his first 4 games. 53 carries, 217 yards, only 4.09 yards per carry, which in a normal world, that's a pretty good yards per carry average. But when you have a guy like Dowdle playing this well, I don't feel like you can bench him. But do you feel confident starting him in fantasy this week, Casey?
Man, confident is probably not a word I'd use to describe it. I am starting him if but the confidence level isn't because like you said, they're both looking good. They both look good. And I'm the hot hand kind of gal. I'm the what have you done for me lately thing. When injuries happen, I'm like, who's up next? Whatever. Dowdle came in, took on Miami and the Cowboys, and both of those teams you can run on. But I mean, he showed that you can really run on him. Like, just imagine if he was playing better defenses, he'd still be putting up decent numbers. So confidence level is like, but I'm still, yeah.
I'm starting Dowdle this week. It's against the Jets. I might have some apprehension week 8, depending on how things play out this week, about rolling him out. But I think something that's important to notice as well in these stats, Dowdle doesn't catch a ton of passes, 9 targets, 7 catches, 84 yards, and a touchdown. But that's something that Chuba does do well. He had 13 catches for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns. This could be a situation, Casey, where Dowdle gets the majority of the rushing work, but then we see Chuba get a lot of the passing work. And if that's going to happen, Chuba has been good enough in the passing game. I'm okay with him being kind of like a mid-range flex. Yeah. And I think Dowdle becomes a guy that you can legitimately talk about as a flex, or possibly like an RB3 if you have to start 3 running backs in the league. He's a guy who becomes an option, even if they're both healthy and starting.
Yep.
Do you see anything else with this offense changing, having these two backs? Do you think this helps Bryce Young down the road? Do you think this makes maybe him a little bit more efficient as a quarterback? We've seen him take a few steps forward, takes a few steps back. Is this helps Bryce Young?
I think it does. I think it always, when you have an additional weapon out there that can get it done. And honestly, having that running back room that you can depend on like that, that's going to help out a whole lot as well. So I'm saying more of the same, but
well, and I think having Chuba around for some of that shorter passing work is going to be very helpful.
It's going to be
Bryce Young having him back. It doesn't make me really any higher on Bryce Young this week. I just maybe he'll throw a few less picks, maybe have a few more yards.
That is exactly what's up. That's
Yep. Let's move on to the next one. Kacey, we've got Rashee Rice, the return of Rashee. He's back in Kansas City after that 6-game suspension. Everyone's really been waiting to judge the Chiefs until we get Rashee Rice back in this offense. Right. He was phenomenal at the end of last season. It really looked like he had taken the step forward to be that wide receiver one. Without him these first 6 weeks, this offense hasn't been great. They're 3-3. So, I mean, that's probably better than they could have been. They probably should have lost a couple of those other games. They didn't. You can question why. That said, does he immediately, Kacey, in this offense, when Rashee Rice steps on the field this weekend, does he immediately become a candidate to be a top 15 wide receiver the rest of this season?
Yeah, I think so. Like you were saying about how he played last year and just being able to have him back. He's fresh. He's, coming off that suspension, and he's, it's gonna be sad for those of us who are plugging in other guys while he's been out and getting some success off of those guys. But yeah, top 15. I'm definitely on board that train.
Yep. Well, I mean, he was averaging right around 10 targets per game at the end of the 2023 season. Then he was right there again, 9 targets, 6 targets, 14 targets the first 3 weeks of last season before he goes down with the knee injury. I think this is a guy who steps right in. I think he becomes fantasy relevant immediately. I don't think there's any sort of like ramping him up or getting him used to the offense. I don't think there's any sort of restriction on usage. I think he's a full go, and he's someone, if you've got him rostered, you finally get to start him this week, and it's probably going to go pretty well for you. This Kansas City game this weekend, they're up against a pretty weak Las Vegas defense in Kansas City. So this could be the Rashee Rice show. Now, when we start talking about some of these other guys who have gotten to see volume in this offense, Juju Smith-Schuster, we've got Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, Tyquan Thornton. With the return of Rashee Rice, do most of those guys just kind of sink back into irrelevance, maybe with the exception of Xavier Worthy?
Yeah, I think so. Sadly. But, they held us over, so we can at least say thank you before we part our ways or put them on the bench. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see Worthy. I think Worthy goes back to what I always thought he was, which he's like a Jaden Reed, basically, in my opinion. He's he's fast. Yes, he's got that speed, but he's going to be more successful on the trick plays, the gadget plays, the jet sweeps, the go routes. You get him deep. He makes those deep down the field catches. With Rashee Rice back, all that underneath stuff that they were thinking they were going to use him for, that goes away for him. It goes away for Hollywood Brown as well. I like this comment. Tyquan Thornton could be interesting because he's still kind of a solid deep threat guy. He's reliable down the field. Yes, he is interesting, but here's the thing with that is that you don't know when he's going to get that big play.
Yeah, it takes. Yeah.
So let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Thornton is a guy I could see breaking out and becoming more of like a flex option over Hollywood Brown, probably over Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah.
So I like that, esports. Thank for that comment there. Now, when it comes to Patrick Mahomes, a lot of us heading into this season, I mean, he was really low in my rankings. I think I had him at QB like 15 in my draft rankings. I could go back and look. But he's playing really well. He's the overall QB1 right now, Kacey, with this hodgepodge of an offense. Now, some of that has been the rushing upside, which we haven't really seen out of Patrick Mahomes before this season. He's got He's 38 carries for 222 yards and 4 touchdowns. He only had 58 carries the season before. He's really never been in this territory as a ball carrier. He's got 4 touchdowns, which matches his career high in a season. Now that we're getting Rashee Rice back, how does that change Patrick Mahomes' value in fantasy?
I don't know. I wanted to say, like, there's nowhere else he can go. I think he's going to continue. You're going to continue to get quarterback one numbers from him. I wasn't on him to start the season either, but this whole rushing is king and being able to be that mobile quarterback and be able to do both things it's just going to continue. And having Rashee Rice as a target, bruh.
That's where I'm at with it too. Like, I think the rushing upside continues. We're going to see that rest of season where he's going to keep this up because Rashee Rice isn't a running back. He does not fix this run game. He might open it up a little bit because now this passing game becomes more viable. Defenses are going to have to respect Rashee Rice. They're going to not be able to load the line quite as much and stack the line to keep people from getting out. But I still think we see Mahomes running quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that stops. But what it does change is overall, I think he just becomes a more efficient quarterback. He's got 11 touchdowns. This is a season where now that we've got Rashee Rice back, it opens up this offense. This could be a 30-plus touchdown season for Mahomes. I think he might be my QB1 rest of season, Kacey.
Yeah.
If this keeps up, and I think it will, I think he might be my QB1.
I'll agree with you on that. Well, I see that running to continue.
Yeah, I do too. Before we move on to our next segment, Kacey, I want to get to a few questions here that we have got in the chat. The first one here, we have got Jonathan Santiago over on YouTube. Good afternoon. Would you start Diggs or Wan'Dale Robinson in PPR this week, Kacey? I'm probably going to lean away from Wan'Dale. They've got the matchup with Denver with 3 really good cornerbacks. I don't trust that Jackson Dart's going to be able to get the ball to any of them in this matchup. So I'm going to lean Stephon Diggs, which I think is a solid play. New England against Tennessee, that weak Tennessee defense. I'll take that all day.
Yes. I think that I'd also go with Stephon Diggs. Just keep an eye on his health. But other than that, I think I'm a big Wan'Dale fan, so I wouldn't fault you for doing that. Diggs' direction, I'd go. Nate basically summed it up.
Yeah, Diggs is the play this week. Yep. All right, I want to get to this one here. Leo the Leak on YouTube. Trade Tyler Warren and Nick. I don't know who he's referring to as Nick. For Jeans, which I'm assuming is Ashton Jeanty and Emeka Egbuka. I'd like to know who that Nick player is, Leo. So if you could toss that in the chat here. Oh, here we go. Tyler Warren and Nico Collins for Ashton Jeanty and Emeka Egbuka. Would you make that deal? You know what? I would make that deal. I would absolutely make that deal. I like Warren a lot. I didn't think I was going to like him as much as I do, but I really do. And getting him back getting Jeanty and Egbuka back, I'm okay trading Warren away and getting rid of Nico Collins. He's not old, but he's older. And getting Egbuka in replacement, I'll take it all day. I love that. Also, his other tight end is Trey McBride, so you can definitely do that. I feel 100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
All right, now we've got Country Connected. I just made a trade, quite happy about it. Traded Dowdle and Kittle for Hunter Henry. He's got Achane and Hampton on IR. I'm sorry, for Derrick Henry. Ooh boy. I don't hate it.
I don't hate it. I make moves like that sometimes too. It just depends on how you fill it out, like what your thought process is there, which Henry right now.
But long-term Henry, we know is the starter. We don't know what's going to happen with Dowdle. This is kind of a wait and see over the next couple of weeks. If you can move him for Henry and tossing in Kittle kind of sucks. Hopefully you've got, and he does, McBride's his other tight end as well. So I think this is a good move. It makes your roster stronger. It helps you move forward. All right, we've got this one from Jamie Pirog. Gainwell tonight versus the worst running back defense, but Warren back, or Cooper Kupp and flex, I'm assuming here. I would probably roll out Gainwell.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'd probably roll out Gainwell or Jonnu Smith. I'm not rolling out Jonnu Smith.
Jonnu Smith, because it's the one game every now and then that you're going to get from him. I get it. I have had to do a lot of this in my flex lately.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 and 3 point guys. Yeah, Gainwell. Yeah, Gainwell.
I'm still going to go Gainwell.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, then we've got this one from Tron Force. He needs one wide receiver and a flex. This is PPR, Kacey.
Okay.
Chris Olave in bad weather. Terry McLaurin, who is questionable. Devonta Smith, Jalen Warren playing tonight. I think my wide receiver is going to be Devonta because he's healthy. We don't have any questions about that. The weather concerns me for Rattler, a guy who played at Oklahoma and didn't have to deal with a lot of bad weather in his college career and then now plays in a dome. And then I'm probably going to flex Jalen Warren tonight.
I'll agree with you on that. The McLaurin thing, it's like, yeah, he's banged up, coming back. And we saw what he's done when he was healthy so far this season. I'd rather pick the health over anything like Nate said. Nate is just so perfect at putting words out there, and I'm horrible at it. So just
I am not. But I'm also on camera all week, so
I'm not. So
Yeah. All right, we've got this one, Esports Brock on Twitch. Where are we at on Kamani Vidal? Do we believe in his performance last week? I think with Jim Harbaugh's very similar to me to how we feel about Sean Payton, where I don't believe anything. But in this case, I actually do. This was against Miami, 18 carries for 124 yards. He had the receiving touchdown. I'm sure that we're going to see more Hassan Haskins this week. But I also think that Kamani Vidal probably showed this team he can be that guy right now. They drafted him to be that guy. They started using him at the end of last season a little bit more. It was the last 5-6 games he actually started to see decent snap shares, and he was efficient with it. 4+ yards per carry in most of those games. So while I think he's not going to see that much work, I can't see him going back to that 20+ carries. I mean, 18+ carries, anything's possible. I think he's in the range of 10 to 12 carries. We see a little bit more Haskins, but if he's efficient with it, he's worth starting as a flex.
Trying to unmute myself to say yes. I'm actually, this is what we wanted to see. Yes. You guys are talking about, and I see our comment, and you brought it up about playing the Dolphins. Okay. But I'm still gonna take the shot. I am.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it was against Miami. It was a perfect, beautiful matchup. And like I said, I don't expect this to be just crazy town for him, but I think he's relevant as a flex. I would be okay with that one. Flex. On YouTube, it's okay to laugh. Do I trade Dak, Tet McMillan, Bucky Irving, and Rashad White for Lamar Jackson and Jamar Chase? His other running backs right now are Chase Brown, Javonte Williams, and Jordan Mason. It depends on how much you believe in Chase Brown, because I don't. He's not an efficient running back. He's in an offense with a bad line and a coach who's just going to throw the ball with Joe Flacco. That makes me a little nervous with this. But getting Lamar and Jamar back, I think, makes it worth the risk. You can roll out Brown and Javonte and at least get a decent floor from Brown. So, yeah, I'm okay with this trade. I would do it. I think it makes your team better.
Yeah, it's boosting areas, and you can, with the running back situation, you're fine. You can plug and play and Band-Aid and do what you got to do.
Yep. The Bill Krosky merit love is heating up, Kacey. I'm starting to see a lot more talk about him. They were talking a lot about him on CBS Sports this morning with Jamie Eisenberg and Dave Ricard. Watcher Anon 123 over on Twitch. Should I trade Quentin Johnson for Bill Krosky merit in PPR? Michael Carter is currently his RB2. Trey Benson is on IR. He's got Roma Dunze, Amon-Ra, Puka, and Quentin Johnson as his wide receivers right now. I would do that. You're loaded enough. even with Puka injured, I mean, there's a shot that he plays this week, but we know he's probably only going to miss this 1 week if he does miss time at all.
Yeah.
You've got Rome Odunze, you've got Amon-Ra. I think you're in good shape here. I don't want Michael Carter being my RB2. And if I can get Bill Krosky-Merritt, a guy who's going to see volume, we've seen it, we know it, and we know he's efficient, I want that piece. So yes, I would make this trade. Plus, I think the QJ breakout's going to kind of come back to the mean. I can't see this keeping up. I think it's going to level out, and we're going to get a lot less excited about him in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think
so.
And that's just, I mean, my feeling is it's going to be the boom bust games kind of for QJ, just like we saw when people come back, things happen.
All right, we've got Jesse M on YouTube. Casey, trade Jalen Hurts for Lamar Jackson. It's a 1 quarterback league, 4-point passing touchdowns. He's got Josh Allen as his QB1, no backup QB or any on waivers. He's 6-0. It's a 1 QB league. If you're going to trade away, here's what I would do. I would trade Hurts for Lamar, play Lamar on Allen's bye. After the bye, you now have a piece that you can trade to bolster the rest of your roster and just get ready for the playoffs. That's what I would do. You're in a really good situation.
Yeah, that's really a great situation to be in. I like your thought process.
Oh, wait. 2 QB league.
2 QB makes
you meant to say 2 QB. Okay. So,
okay, here we go.
Now back to this. All right. So 2 QB. Yes. Let me get back to this here. Well, yes. 2 QB. Yeah. I'd still make this deal. I'd rather have Lamar over Jalen rest of season.
Me too.
So
I do that.
And then on your bye week, on your bye week, start somebody else in your super flex. It doesn't always have to be a quarterback. I know we all get super stuck on that,
but or is it super flex?
I guess that's a good question. Either way, you're in good shape. That's a deal I'd make. I'd rather have Lamar over Jalen rest of season.
I would rather have Lamar. Yes.
Yeah, 100%. All right, we've got Aaron Hudson on YouTube. Full PPR, 1 running back and a flex. These are the players we're choosing from here, Casey. Rico Dowdle, Kenneth Walker, Ladd McConkey, Tet McMillan, Jordan Addison. Follow-up to this question. Would you trade Kenneth Walker and Ladd for Saquon Barkley and or Derrick Henry? So I'm going to answer that last question first, and the answer is no, I would not. I would hold on to Kenneth Walker. I would hold on to Ladd McConkey. They're in good offenses. Saquon, there's something about this Philly offense. They can't get him going. They just can't get him going.
This isn't the year that they're going to get it going, I don't think. I would also.
Yep.
And then the first part of the question, 1 running back in a flex.
Kenneth Walker and Jordan Addison.
Kenneth Walker and Jordan Addison. Yeah. That's just, I don't know. It feels safer to me. So I get that kind of vibe going.
All right. We've got one more and then we'll move on to our panic meter segment, Casey. Zappatronics on Twitch. I have 3 tight ends and I don't know which to pick this week. He's got Travis Kelce, Mason Taylor, and Darren Waller. I could also start 2 of them. What should I do? We're talking about Darren Waller against Cleveland. I would flex Waller and start Kelce against Las Vegas.
I would start Kelce. That was the one that I immediately was like, I would start him. If you were going, you can start 2 of them, depending on, I'm guessing you're talking flex.
That would be my assumption as well.
That would be my assumption. I don't know. It depends on who else I have available there. Waller would probably be the guy I'd throw in flex out of that group if I didn't have a better option available. Obviously, if you're asking, then maybe you don't have.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, next one here on YouTube. The Smitty. Start 2 running backs out of this group. David Montgomery, Breece Hall, Rashad White. Which one are you leaving on the bench, Casey?
Oh man. Brees Hall, Monty White. Jeez, am I gonna say Brees Hall? No. I think I might end up. I think White. I'm not gonna start.
Yeah, I'm probably leaving Rachaad White on the bench. This is going to be another pass-heavy game, Detroit, Tampa Bay. I don't have a lot of interest in him. If he scores a touchdown, he sneaks into back end RB2 territory, but I'm not going to bank on that. I'd rather start the other two.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we've got this one from Aaron Hudson.
So
Also, Daniel Jones is on waivers. He's already got Dak and Bo Nix. He's considering dropping Bashal Tutin to pick him up and use him as trade bait, considering how often QBs are getting injured this year. Is it worth it or no? My first question, if it's a league that likes to trade, I know that's crazy.
Him first because
I would get Daniel Jones and I would use Nix as trade bait. I would rather start Daniel Jones than Bo Nix.
Yeah,
Bo Nix is going to get there eventually, but he's not there right now.
And yeah, so either way, like if you want to use Jones as trade bait, that's cool. I just don't understand why he's still out there. Then I get it. It's just weird to me. I don't like that. So yeah, I'd want him on my roster.
Yeah, I'd
be okay with dropping Tutin to get him. Yeah.
Yep. 100%. All right, we've got this one from Yeet56 on Twitch. Casey, gotta pick one out of this group to start.
Okay.
Already down bad, I'm assuming this season. Chase Brown, Tony Pollard, Rico Dowdle, or Chuba Hubbard. Which one are you starting?
Gotta pick one. Who am I picking? I'm gonna go. Which one am I going? Okay, hold on. I don't want too much dead time here. I'm gonna go.
I don't know.
You probably already know, but I'm gonna go. Pollard.
I'm going Pollard.
Look, this is my thought process whenever I'm going through these whole start sit stuff. You guys probably are the same way I am, where it's like, ooh, right? So just deal with my thought process here. My brain's working.
Well, yeah, and with this one, it's tough because I mean these are all kind of. If Hubbard's not playing, it's Rico Dowdle.
Right.
But with Hubbard back, we don't know exactly what that backfield's going to be, especially with how good Dowdle's been, like we talked about.
Right. That's yeah.
Yeah, and then Chase Brown, I mean, that offensive line's awful. He can't run. He's averaging like 2-something yards per carry right now. It's atrocious, and I don't want any part of him. So it just kind of defaults to Tony Pollard. And this isn't a great matchup for him. I mean, they're up against New England, but they're not going to be able to throw the ball. Marcus Jones is healthy. Cam Ward's going to have a hell of a day. They're going to lean on Pollard a bit, so that's why I'm going to go that direction.
Yep.
Just kind of makes the most sense to me. And guys, we are getting a lot of questions today. If we do not get to yours for any reason, please head over to our Discord channel. The link is in the show description down below. Mr. Mythcarian Lou is over there running that beast, and he is crushing it. Lots of football talks. Pretty much anything you want to talk about relating to football, fantasy football, and sports betting. So make sure you head on over there, folks. Let's go on to the panic meter, Casey. We're starting to see a theme here. We've had a lot of the same guys showing up.
Yep.
I'm trying to avoid talking about some of them and over, but I can't help it with some of these guys. But first, we're going to start with Kyler Murray. I know last week was a bye week. He slipped all the way down to QB 24, but he was QB 17 through the first 5 weeks before he got hurt last week. Sorry, not a bye week. He got hurt. But he's QB 23 in points per game.
Yeah.
People were drafting Kyler Murray as a QB1.
They were.
He is barely hanging on as a QB2. Now he's hurt.
Yeah.
If you're in redraft, are you selling Kyler Murray off in your redraft leagues? Because with this foot injury, we don't know when he's coming back.
Yeah.
Honestly, the offense looked better with Jacoby Brissett, I thought.
Well, wow. But yeah. Yeah. If you can get something for him that's going to help you now, I'm all for doing that and getting off my roster. I let somebody else deal with that headache. That is too much of a headache. Yeah. And the
Like
rushing
barely
ability's there, but it's not leading to any sort of anything. Like,
right. Well, and like barely fantasy in the chat says, Kyler Murray's a drop in 1 QB leagues with shallow benches, which we'll probably talk about that on our waiver show on Monday. Don't miss that show. We go through all of the players that you need to know about. Make sure you like this show and subscribe to this channel, guys. That's how you'll know that we're going live. Next up on the panic meter, we're going to move away from quarterbacks to Breece Hall over in New York. Right now, he's RB23. It's about where he's floated most of the season. He had a little bit more success early on. This offense doesn't look very competent. Justin Fields is having a hard time with just about everything. He's being too cautious, which is great for the turnover ratio, but it's not great for the explosivity of an offense. They're getting themselves in positions where they can't run the ball a lot. Right. I don't know that this changes for Breece Hall. This is, I think, the third time we've talked about him on our panic meter this season, and I think he's permanently on it for me for the rest of the season. I don't know that we're going to see more out of him. I think we're looking at a back-end RB2, a guy who should be an RB1, but the offense just won't get him there.
Yep. You're going to have to go into it looking like that. What you drafted him to be, he's not going to be. You know what his role is now kind of on your roster. Garrett Wilson's banged up, yeah. So that might be a little bit more help. Breece Hall seeing touches. He's leading the team with Wilson in the red zone looks. So there's the positivity there, right? But it's still, you have to temper your expectations and just assume he's not the running back one that you drafted him to be.
No, and it is like you look at his volume and it's kind of all over the place. I mean, against Denver, he had 22 carries, but he only managed 59 yards. That against a better defense. Even with that volume, you think, okay, but he's going to get us at least 10 points, 5.9 in PPR. So, yeah, I think we're at a point now where I can't do it with Breece Hall. Back end RB2, you can still roll him out, but you got to know that floor is low in this Jets offense right now. Low. Very low. Next one, Alvin Kamara, RB28. I mean, is this the cliff for Alvin Kamara? Have we seen the end of the man who once was a perennial RB1?
Yeah. I mean, he's getting his targets back, so that's cool. I guess I try to look for the positives in these things to try to panic less, but I'm still panicking about Kamara. I don't. It seems like it's going to be steady like this the rest of the going.
Well, the thing is, and it's frustrating because we're seeing the rise of Kendre Miller.
Yes, we are.
11 carries, 10 carries, and 8 carries the last 3 weeks. His snap shares up from 15% to nearly 40% the last 2 weeks against the Giants and against the Patriots versus Alvin Kamara, who, I mean, 70 to 80% snap share the first couple of weeks dwindles into the 70s. Now we're into the 50s and low 60s. He only had 10 carries last week. Like, and while Alvin Kamara is not known as the guy who's going to run for 1,000 yards every season, not seeing that volume is concerning because it shows that the offense is losing faith in him. And I want to toss this comment out here. Are we really seeing a rise in Kendre, though? He's got some standalone value, but he's not replacing Kamara right now. No, and I don't think he is replacing Kamara, but I think we're seeing the slowdown of Kamara. And this offense is showing that, yes, they can use Kendre Miller to take some of that volume. And if Kamara continues to be inefficient, he's going to get more of it. That doesn't make Kendre Miller a guy I'm excited to go out and roster.
Negative. Yep.
No, absolutely not.
On that.
That could change down the line, and I'm open to that changing in this offense. I don't know what Kellen Moore really ultimately wants to do with this team. I don't think he knows either. Well, I don't think he knows, though, Kacey.
I mean, it out. He's trying.
Do you think he was like, hey, I'm going to take this job because I'm excited to start Spencer Rattler at quarterback? Absolutely not. That's not what he wanted. I think he wanted Tyler Shuck. Shuck just didn't pan out.
Yeah.
Probably needs more time. Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right, let's move on to some tight ends. Well, let's move on to some wide receivers first. We're going to start with Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver 28. He was still getting drafted as a back-end wide receiver 1 in fantasy drafts and redraft this year. And I don't see this changing. I mean, obviously, Kyler Murray, 23rd in points per game at quarterback. Now we've got Jacoby Brissett in. And I'm not going to lie, I thought maybe Jacoby Brissett would find a way to actually get Marvin Harrison the ball. He did not. He had 2 targets, 2 catches for 32 yards. He had 5.2 PPR points.
Mm-hmm. And you got concussion protocol stuff going on.
Yeah.
They have a bye week coming up in week 8 too, so you can't depend on him to be in your lineup then.
I don't think we see him climb higher than where he's at right now. Wide receiver 30 in full PPR, wide receiver 28.5 PPR.
Yeah, it's about.
I think that's about where we see him rest of season until something changes with the Arizona offense. They move on from Kyler Murray. They get a real NFL quarterback in there who can actually throw the ball, and they get an offensive coordinator that stops trying to make Marvin Harrison run these go routes. It's not what he does. He's a middle of the field, like cross routes, soft routes, finding the soft spots in zones, drags, underneath, slants. This is the guy Marvin Harrison Jr. should be. He would be wildly successful at that. They already have that guy in Trey McBride. So I just don't see this changing. The other concerning one, A.J. Brown, wide receiver 43. I thought by now he would have climbed out of this panic meter list, but he hasn't, Kacey. I don't know that this is going to change. This is another one. I think this is where A.J. Brown is this year.
You just got to expect it every week. That's just what you're going to get from him. Again, drafted him to be one thing. He's turning out to be something else.
Well, and it's not. Look, it's not his fault. He's got 45 targets over the first 6 games. After that week, 1 target, 8 targets, 10 targets, 9 targets, 8 targets, 9 targets. The problem is the quality of targets he's getting from Jalen Hurts. They're just not good. And like to this here from Barely Fantasy, Nick Sirianni forgot how to run a passing offense, and that is the problem. Teams know they're not going to pass. Jalen Hurts is under pressure. He's making bad throws. And I don't think anyone ever really honestly thought that Jalen Hurts was an elite passing quarterback. No one ever accused him of that.
No one did.
Yep. All right. I want to get to this question real quick here while we're in the middle of panic meter, because start-sit questions can induce panic, Kacey. Hayden on YouTube. This is a half PPR league. Sit one out of this group. Cortland Sutton, Deebo Samuel, Brian Thomas Jr., Breece Hall. Who are you sitting?
Breece Hall.
Yeah, I'm probably sitting Breece Hall.
Okay. See?
And then this one here, Bryce Love. Jordan Love, Bo Nix. Which one are you starting this week?
I feel like that's so close. I see why this is a question. Probably Love.
Yeah, I'm starting Love. They're up against Arizona. I like the matchup better. I like the matchup a lot better. All right, let's do some tight ends, Kacey. Juwan Johnson, he was the hot name to start the season. Yes, he was tight end 3 through the first 2 weeks. The volume was incredible. You couldn't stop the man, but then, well, they stopped him. He's tight end 31 since that early season blow up. Is there any chance that he returns to being startable? It's a question we get asked every week. Should I start Juwan Johnson? I don't know that he does. This offense has shifted more towards Chris Olave, and I think that's where it stays.
Yeah, I think that's where it stays. We got that strong start. Be happy you got it. I've been dealing with that same question. Like, should I start him every week? It's going to be more of the same for you. So I would just pivot off of that completely.
Yep. I want to toss this out here from Myth Carrion over there on Twitch. Every single Eagles fan thinks Hurts is elite. They do. That's fine.
That's fine.
He's not. He's fine. The dude can run, and I will tell you what, his mental toughness is up amongst some of the best in the league. So I'll give him that. Mark Andrews, tight end 16.
Yeah.
I think it's time to move on from John Harbaugh in Baltimore. This team needs a reset. The heavy run game isn't working. Derrick Henry really just is turned into a nothing. He's fallen apart. He's had 2 good games this season, not the elite production we were expecting from him. Lamar Jackson is hurt. We don't know when he's coming back. Mark Andrews, really, I mean, that tight end 15 even is a little bit deceiving, because if you take out that week 3 where he had 27 points, 6 for 91 and 2 touchdowns, he's not even in the top 25 tight ends.
Yeah.
So I can't trust it.
Yeah. And when you look at that made me think, when you look at numbers at the end of the year and you're like, oh yeah, they ended as tight end, whatever. And bruh, go back and really look though. It is funny how just a few weeks of popping up, then you're going to have to figure out which one of those weeks is it going to happen.
I am moving in Dynasty. I'm moving off of Mark Andrews if I can trade him. In redraft, I mean, I'm not dropping him yet, but in a couple weeks, you might not have a choice. If you need that bench spot for someone else, you might not have a choice. So, all right, folks, that does it for Panic Meter. Got a couple of questions in the chat, and we'll get to our best and worst of the weekend on the spot. First one here, it's okay to laugh, just giving us an update. He did end up doing that trade, the Dak, Igbuka, and Mason for Lamar and Jamar Chase. I love that you added Jordan Mason in there. He feels like a roster clogger to me, and someone you just want to be done with. His value is so middling.
I like that.
Back end RB2, maybe middle of the road RB3 at most. So getting off of him, I think, was a good move here. Jamie Parag wants to know on the thoughts for the nickname he gave Kamani Vidal after destroying Miami, Tsunami Vidal. I'll allow it. It rhymes. I'll allow it. What do you think?
I'll allow it too.
All right.
I'll allow it to it. I will also allow.
Woohoo. Joseph Massey needs us to choose one for a flex in a full PPR league, Casey. Alvin Kamara, Chase Brown, Hunter or Kittle if he plays. I'm assuming that would be Hunter Henry or George Kittle. And thanks for the great content, Joseph. Thanks for watching. We much appreciate it. Full flex. Oh, I'm going to go Kittle if he plays. Oh, if that's Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter.
I think it's Travis Hunter. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's Kittle if he plays. If Kittle doesn't play,
it's Kittle if he plays.
I'm going to go Travis Hunter. Liam Cohen was talking him up this week, how they want to get him more involved in the offense. Cohen doesn't strike me as a coach speak type of guy. So yeah, it's Hunter if Kittle doesn't play, Kittle if Kittle does play. That's the way we go with it.
Kittle does play.
Yep. All right, Casey. One of my favorite segments, because we always end up matching one game here. Best and worst of week 7. Which matchups are we looking forward to? Which do we not want to watch at all? Let's start with the worst, because we both agree. The Miami Dolphins at the Cleveland Browns. Just why? Just why?
Yeah, I was, I looked at it and I was like, I'm going to get this in before Nate. And then I looked and Nate got it in right before me. And I was like, dang it. For real. But it's just you.
Well, if you keep giving us games this bad, we're going to keep matching the bad game.
Yeah. It's cool how our brains work like that.
Yeah, right. I just don't. There's nothing attractive about this matchup. I'm really glad that it isn't actually the Thursday night game or the Sunday night game. I'm glad that it's on the early slate, the 1 p.m. Eastern start. So you've got a bunch of other games. You don't have to watch this one. I just don't have any interest in watching the ramifications of the infighting in Miami play out on the field. Like, I don't want to see any of this. Yeah. And plus, here's a part of it too, the weather. 40 to 50 mile per hour winds.
It could make it interesting.
I don't know if that makes it. It's going to make it sloppier. It's going to make it the Quinshon Judkins show. Maybe he goes for 150.
There you go.
Please. My Kings Classic team needs that to happen freaking badly. Now let's go to the best of the week. We actually have different games here, Casey. Let's start with yours.
Yeah, let's start with mine. I went with Washington at Dallas. Not because I'm a Dallas fan, but yes, also just been talking up how well Dak's been playing lately. He's just been on fire. And then Pickens. And then, I mean, I don't know. For fantasy purposes, you've got to be happy if you have most of those guys on your roster. Running back to wide receiver, tight end, quarterback. And plus, on top of that, division rivals. I always love to watch those games, and
Well,
yeah.
and especially when the teams are good
Yeah.
and it's close.
And it's
You get
close.
to this
And
spot in
high
the season
scoring.
and high scoring. Yes.
Oh,
This should be a good game. This should be a really good game. This is my second favorite. My favorite this week, though, Kacey, Tampa Bay at Detroit.
let's go.
More times than not, I'm going to go with my boy Baker.
MVP.
My MVP.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tez Johnson. It wasn't you that they were chanting for, buddy.
That's hilarious.
I know that was a good one.
I love it.
This just feels like a high scoring, fun game on a Monday night. It's the 5:00 game. It's in Detroit, so we're in a dome. No weather to worry about. Baker Mayfield unleashed. Mike Evans will be back. No Amika, which is a bummer. But it doesn't really seem to matter to this offense. So we're going to see more Tez Johnson. We're going to see Kalen Johnson. I think we're going to see a little bit of Mike Evans. Obviously, he's back. Sterling Shepard should factor into this offense as well. So it should be a fun game. I think ultimately Detroit wins, but we'll have to see. Yeah, Baker, the magic maker. If he's not MVP right now, then I don't understand what the hell they're voting on, quite honestly. It doesn't make sense.
We'll see where we are in a few weeks.
We'll see where we are in a few weeks.
I think we'll be all right.
I think so too. All right. On the spot for week 7, Kacey, and then we're going to get the heck out of here. Who wins the Battle of the Olds tonight between Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, good night. This is a fun one. I'm going to go with Rodgers.
I think Cleveland wins this one pretty easily. Or not Cleveland, I'm sorry.
I know, you can't stop.
I can't stop. I think Pittsburgh wins this one pretty easily. I'll be tossing on my JJ Watt jersey for the game, of course.
There you go.
So, yeah, but I really do. Pittsburgh wins this one pretty easily. Though I do think Flacco has a good game. This Pittsburgh offense isn't great, and I'd love to see Jamar Chase go off.
I would like to see that. I know a lot of, unless you're playing against them, I get it.
Yep. I think the league's a better place when Jamar Chase is doing well.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's fun.
Yep. Well, folks, thanks for riding with us here on this Thursday midday. Good luck in your week 7 matchups. We will be back tomorrow with the DFS show. Mike Reedy and I look for that to post sometime tomorrow afternoon. And then, of course, tomorrow evening is Friday Vibes with myself and Mr. Keith Fleming at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be here to answer all of your questions and help you get ready for the week, not just for fantasy, betting, DFS, we've got it all. And speaking of betting and DFS, head over to tools.optimusfantasy.com and check out our new betting and DFS optimizer tools launched yesterday. They're freaking rad, Kacey. And the thing is generating great lineups. You can set specific to the slate. It's going to populate them for you. You can build any combinations you want, up to 20 lineups generated per click. So check that out. 25% off your first 4 months with the code OptimusFall, folks. And one more time, check out our Discord channel. Link is in the show description. We're answering your questions 24/7. So if you didn't get to us on the show, you're watching the replay or you're listening to the audio version and you've got more questions for us, head over to Discord and we'll get you covered right there. Awesome. It's been great, Kacey. We're going to let the people go. If you're watching us on YouTube, please make sure you like this video and subscribe. And if you're listening to the audio version, follow us on your favorite podcast platform. We appreciate it so much. For Kacey Kasem, I'm Nate Polvogt. We'll see you next week.